Is Samsung's tri-folding phone already letting people down before it's even official? For years, people have been waiting to see what Samsung would do next in the foldable phone space. We've seen flips, folds, and now the big one, a trifold. And when Samsung showed a teaser silhouette of a trifold design during the Galaxy S25 launch, it felt like something major was coming. But now, some of the early leaks are starting to paint a slightly less exciting picture, especially when it comes to charging. Let's get this straight. A phone with 3 folding sections, an almost tablet-sized display when fully open, and all the latest tech you'd expect from a top-of-the-line Galaxy device. But it might still charge at just 25 watts? Yeah, that's what the latest rumors are saying. According to tipsters who've shared early info on X, Samsung is testing the trifold with a charging speed between 23 and 24 watts, which would likely be promoted as 25 watts. That's the same charging speed we've seen on past Galaxy Fold models. Now, if this were a regular phone or even an older foldable, that wouldn't seem so bad. But this is Samsung's newest and most advanced design we're talking about. Meanwhile, some of Samsung's mid-range phones, like the Galaxy A56 and A30 already support 45-watt fast charging. So what's going on? Samsung has always been a bit conservative when it comes to charging speeds, especially on its foldables. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 supports just 25 watts. And based on other leaks, the upcoming Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7 will likely stick to the same speed too. It seems like Samsung is being cautious, possibly to avoid heat or battery health issues that can come with faster charging on complex designs. Still, for a phone that's supposed to be the next step forward in foldable innovation, the charging speed feels like a step back. That's not the only limitation either. Leaks are also suggesting that the trifold phone won't come with an under-display camera, which has been one of the cooler features on recent foldables. Instead, Samsung might be sticking with a more traditional camera setup. As for the display itself, we're hearing that the main trifolding panel will measure around 10 inches when fully unfolded. That's basically tablet territory. And the cover display will be 6.49 inches, which is the same as what's expected on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. All in all, the hardware sounds impressive. But the small things like camera features or charging speed are starting to make people question whether this device is really going to live up to the hype. So when is it coming? Right now, rumors point to a possible launch in the 4th quarter of this year. That could mean we see it officially revealed sometime between October and December. If things go according to plan, it might hit stores before the end of the year or early next year at the latest. The bottom line, Samsung's trifold is still exciting. It could give users a device that works like a phone when folded, a tablet when open, and something in between when half folded. That's a lot of potential. But if Samsung doesn't bring some upgrades where it matters, like charging speed and camera tech, it might feel like a missed opportunity, especially when other brands are pushing the limits with their foldables. Let's hope Samsung surprises us in a good way when the trifold finally becomes official. If you want to stay updated on this and all things tech, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We've got more coming your way real soon. Would you travel halfway across the world just to hold the next iPhone in your hands months before its launch? Well, if you're that kind of Apple fan, you might want to book a flight to China. That's where one store is already letting people feel what the iPhone 17 series will be like. How? They're using 3D printed dummy models made from leaked CAD files, showing off the brand new shape, size, and design of Apple's upcoming iPhones. These dummy models come from some very reliable industry insiders who've shared renders and files that match what we've been hearing for months. And now those same files are helping Chinese retailers give their customers a hands-on sneak peek. According to reports, these models are even being placed in colorful protective cases, giving a more complete picture of how the real iPhones will look and feel. But this year, it's not just about the look. Apple is changing things up in a big way. The iPhone 17 lineup will feature something we haven't seen in years, an entirely new model called the iPhone 17 Air. This version is slim, stylish, and clearly made for people who care more about how their phone feels and looks than anything else. It's set to replace the iPhone Plus, which never really caught on with buyers. Remember the iPhone Mini? That was also replaced by the Plus model a few years ago, but neither of those ever became very popular. It seems Apple is now trying again, this time with a slim model instead of a small or big one. If the Air version of the iPhone 17 sells well, you might be looking at a permanent addition to the lineup. And don't think Apple's the only one trying to go slim. Samsung is also jumping into the slim phone market with the Galaxy S25 Edge, which is expected to come out later this year. Just like the iPhone 17 Air, this model will likely be aimed at people who want a sleek phone without giving up too much in terms of performance. But back to the iPhone 17. Other than the new Air model, one of the biggest design changes is the camera island. Leaked renders show that the Pro models are moving toward a new look that's closer to what we've seen from Google's Pixel phones. It's larger, more defined, and may house upgraded camera hardware as well. And if you're wondering what all this means for regular users, the answer depends on what you value most. If you like trying out new designs and want something that stands out, the iPhone 17 might finally feel like a true upgrade. But if you're happy with your current phone and don't care too much about size or shape, then this year's changes might not feel that important. The good news is that the full reveal is getting closer. Apple is expected to announce the iPhone 17 lineup this September, just like it usually does. So unless you really want to take a trip just to hold a plastic dummy, it might be worth waiting a few months. Still, it's interesting how far some fans and retailers will go to get a preview of what's coming next. 3D printing, leaked files, hands-on dummies. It shows just how strong the iPhone hype still is. Would you ever fly to another country just to see the next iPhone in person? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel for more updates like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Have you ever thought about how many tiny parts go into making your phone? Now imagine if just one of those parts suddenly ran out. What happens then? Well, that's exactly the kind of problem Apple is facing right now. According to a new report, Apple CEO Tim Cook is feeling extremely anxious because the iPhone 17 production is running into serious trouble. And the issue? It's all about something most of us have never heard of: low CT fiberglass cloth. This material is used inside smartphones to help manage heat and reduce stress on components as the device heats up and cools down. It might sound small, but it's crucial. Without it, Apple can't move forward with building the iPhone 17 series. That's why suppliers across the industry are now scrambling to deal with the shortage. Apple isn't wasting any time. Reports say the company is pushing its supply chain every single day to sort out this mess. And they have good reason to be worried. The iPhone 17 isn't just another phone. This launch is meant to mark a big new step for Apple. For one, Apple is changing the design of the iPhone 17. The Pro models are getting a much larger camera island, something that looks a lot like what we've seen on the Google Pixel 9. That's a major shift in how the phone will look, and people are already talking about it. But there's an even bigger surprise coming. Apple is retiring the iPhone Plus model. Instead, they're planning to introduce a new version called the iPhone 17 Air. This one's supposed to be thinner, lighter, and designed for people who care more about sleek looks than anything else. If true, it's going to be a bold move, and one that could shake up Apple's lineup. While Apple is trying to solve one issue after another, Samsung is quietly moving forward on its own path. The company has been working hard on its next big thing, the Exynos 2600 processor built using 2nm technology. If all goes well, we might see it in the Galaxy S26 phones. This could bring some real competition back into the game, especially if Samsung's chip performs well globally. But going back to Apple, there's another major concern that's been hanging over the company: tariffs. Apple has managed to avoid some of the impact for now, but that could change very quickly. With trade tensions still high between the United States and China, Apple may be forced to move more of its production to other countries. The problem is, even if they do that, those other countries could also face tariffs, maybe lower ones, but still enough to raise costs. If Apple can't get the parts it needs and also has to deal with new tariffs, the price of the iPhone 17 series might go up. Either Apple has to take a hit on profits, or they'll pass those extra costs on to customers. With all these problems stacking up, it's hard to say if Apple can launch the iPhone 17 lineup on time this September. Even if they do, the prices may not be what we're used to seeing. So now the question is, will Apple be able to pull it off? Can they fix the supply chain issues, avoid major tariff damage, and still deliver a brand new iPhone lineup this year? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you be interested in the iPhone 17 Air if it's slimmer and lighter? And how do you feel about the bigger camera bump? If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.